What's going on YouTube? It's your buddy Will from the What's Up in the Sky 37 channel, online at www.whatsupinthesky.com. Always something good going on over there. If you haven't checked the website out or signed up for the website, it's free. You can talk into forums. You can go search and browse and do whatever you want without signing up. But if there's like a Facebook button, you can just sign up with Facebook. It's definitely worth signing up because we got some good conversations going on. And with YouTube, you kind of have to have these conversations under one video. Here we've got a whole forum that we've been working on and a lot of good moderators in there and just good people in general. So at the end of the video, I'll just show you a little bit. So welcome as always. We're looking at a Curiosity rover shot. If you hear the fire crackling behind me, that's not your mic. That's just the fire going here in Maryland. It was actually about 70 degrees today. It's dropped now down to about 50. Keep going on. I think it's going down to 44 or something like that. But right off the bat, I wanted to talk for a second here just to give your eyes a little bit of time to adjust to this image. There's a lot going on in it. It's a busy image, and from what I see and what I've been looking at, and I've had this image in the video to do folder for a while. I think I've got about another 20 or 30 in there just from recent saws that I want to make videos on. So I'll be continuing to do these videos. I'm going to try and knock out as many as I can here in the next month or two while winter sinks in here in Maryland. But check out some of these blocks here now. You're looking at the enhanced version. Here's how it comes from NASA, so you're not looking at too much of a difference. What you are looking at, though, what seems to be some obfuscation like we have seen in the past, where we have these sand dunes or whatever they're calling these sandy areas here. Basically, they're in these straight, um, almost like they can't, like, see here, watch, and then you have pieces like this piece right here that's just cut out where you can see around it, but you can see that the rest of it, like this part here, is missing. It's almost like it's been either erased from the picture or something along those lines. Here you can see a nice looking block. Now also some stuff over here. Now this is directly, now here's how it looks that's when I sharpen it up with really dark, so just to give you that contrast thing. And what's interesting is wherever you see the sand dunes, you see the swirls, almost like it's been changed in a different resolution. And I do that just to bring out, as you bring the gamma up in an image, that happens. And that's always been a tipping point there, a key to me that something's been hidden. See, look how you have all these very intricate pieces over here where you've got these curves and um, here on this block alone, a lot of what came to me, a guy said that there's a face on the front of this block, and the more and more I looked at it, it does look like a face, but I think it's more something like a rebar or something along those lines. It does look to be a block that would have fit somewhere at one time. It has stuff in the front of it. It looks decorative, so maybe he was right and I was wrong. But also, there's so much in here that my eyes drew to with just geometry alone, where you have what seems to be cuts and layout, where you have matching um, bevels and part of it here. So let me show you where I got this image so you know that I didn't just pull this out. There's also some interesting up here, over here. Lots of good stuff to look at this image. So sit back, relax by the fireplace with me. And I'm sorry if that crackling's bothering you. Hopefully it won't be too loud in the actual piece itself. But as always, like I said, I'm very skeptical. When you get these new images out, you don't get the chance to see the PDS version. In the PDS version, you can find 5 or 6 versions of each picture. So the rover sometimes, I mean, look, Mars isn't the moon. There's haze on it. It's not as crystal clear as you would get from your moon shot. So sometimes I think the rover's trying to take that in effect somehow. But you get what then this, just like again where we seem to be having, um, even when you don't give it the enhancements, remember this is directly from NASA, just enhanced a little bit, you can see where it's almost been done with an algorithm or something, a math algorithm, because it's done on perfect squares. Just a thought of mine. I don't think it's being done by hand. I think if it was being done by hand, it would most likely be done much better. That would be my synopsis, or my opinion at least. So let's go take a look up here at this piece right here. And there's a couple pieces up here we want to really take a look at because they look to be Uncle Jake's junkyard, just stuff just thrown about this planet as always. Mars was definitely a planet that took an upheaval, and whatever smacked it hard, if that's what happened, or whatever shook it to its core, really dislodged a lot of stuff. So interesting. Here we go. That's from that was just a little enhancement. See how bright this material is, and if you think about the reflectivity here of the rest of these images, I do believe that NASA changes them a little bit, makes them this kind of orangey, pukey color. It's like a brown, and adds that in, just to kind of keep it the red planet. But with one just auto color, or when NASA does it themselves, they call it white balancing. You get the blue skies in the background, the rocks turn colors what they should be. See how they all have color to them? And they're very dim. You can see the color after, in that. So that's not too bad. You've got in front of it, there's a little sphere piece, and then it just kind of drapes over top of this, whatever that means. It's either a mineral. It's definitely different than what's surrounding it. But man, it gets bright, especially when you go pull the gamma up. Remember, I said I pulled the gamma up in this one, so you really see where there's where it looks to be manipulation, at least to me. See squares off here. I really hope you guys can see that in the actual video. When I zoom in here, look at the difference between here. I mean, and it's not that, this is blown up pretty far. This isn't, this is 376%. Um, but it is much clearer and crisper than right there. Same over here. What's this piece right here? Look how that seems to be having, whatever was there has that blur on it too. So is this being done by an algorithm or somebody sitting somewhere at a desk? For some reason, I've always said it's in my mind. I just feel that it's being done by a computer. So I'm an IT guy. I've been an IT guy since I was 16 years old, believe it or not, working on computers. I'm 35 years old now, right when I came out right as technology and imaging and everything started coming online. I was growing up and I ate this stuff up like you wouldn't believe it. Some of the best investments in my life were when my mother and father bought computers for me at a young age and went out and spent that money. So let's check this out here. These two formations right here are definitely looking like something. Perfect 90-degree angle here. You can't see what happens to it underwise, but it almost looks to have another one up here that follows along. Here's how it looks directly from NASA. So there's a sphere on this edge. So there's a lot of these spheres on Mars. Whatever the symbology or whatever they were. See, a lot of times I try and think in, well, what was the construction methods? What was, who knows what this stuff is, and especially the colored stuff. This is directly from NASA, but like I said, you add a filter and you see the original color it comes out. It almost looks a lot more like metal when you do that. And here, as always, with the you really get to see it. So let's leave this on for a second just to take a look at the rest of this picture up at the top, because this is where you really can pull out the curves and the geometry of it. See, you got a very interesting curve right here. Let's see how that looks without so much gamma. It's there, and I imagine it's definitely right. See, it's right there into the NASA one as well. Um, See, that's why I think having all these, and especially having the black and white. See, because look at all this color right here, right? It kind of throws your eyes off a little bit, but wait till you see how it clicks into black and white. A lot of that goes away and you can focus in on something. So I like to have it like that. You can pinpoint something and then go hit it, find it, and say, okay, there we are. Like right here, this seems to be an interesting um, artifact or something, whatever it is. It doesn't look like just a standard rock. Don't mind the different colors coming through it up here. That's just part of the bare filter that they put on each image. But see how it's kind of got it comes up to the front. It almost looks like there's a sphere there, but it's got that little blur mark over it. And then it almost has a cutout. It's almost a perfect, the bottom part, it looks like a cathedral window where you had the bottom part cut out and it's like a U shape on top, and then in it is some sort of little sphere, which could be anything at this distance, but you can see it even better in that black and white, and pulled it out in that color. So that's why I like to do it. Here we got an interesting piece. Let's check this thing out. And that sure does look to be. This seems to have something coming right out of the center of it. It's a sphere coming right out the middle. Um, let's check out the shadows. The shadows for the rest of this image seem to be coming down. So this was taken when the sun was at a pretty high altitude, pretty high azimuth. So it was coming probably directly down on it. Check that out. You can even see the little bit of a shadow under it. What in the world is that? One little picture, so much stuff in it. Isn't it amazing? The whole surface is just filled with things. Here, I hope you guys are getting to the point now where you start seeing this stuff too. As always, I say, I see what I see, you see what you see. To me, this looks like some sort of step and even comes down and has another piece to it right under it. The same length here, same length there. 90 degree, 90 degree. It comes up. What's interesting is there's even like a slice through this right here, and what looks like it goes up here as well. That seems to be about the same size. So let's see what it looks like with not so much. But then when you really pop that blue in, or the color in, which I didn't put in, like I said, remember, I didn't put that color in. It's in the image. All I'm doing is pulling it out. See it there? That color is there, and it just gets pulled out. Um, Now this is like I said, this is an extreme enhancement of the original, of course. Now I haven't moved anything and I haven't done anything like that. I say extreme because the color. I just have used the gamma to pull stuff out. And rightly so, it's a good technique, and I've used it many times, and I think we found all sorts of good stuff this way. So let's keep taking a look as we go through here. Some of this stuff, hope I'm not making you sick as I scroll through this. Um, a lot of this image, let's really take a look at this piece right here. This is kind of interesting because it's got a nice shadow on it. Whatever this is, um, wow, whatever it is was a piece of something that definitely came knocked off of it. You can see it comes up and it comes around, it comes down. This is when I don't usually look at faces too much. But this actually kind of has like a face look to it, or maybe a dial. Looked like it was maybe part of a machine of some sort. And when you add that, it definitely looks more like a machine when you add it where the gamma's kind of up there. It just cut off there. Um, but what the interesting part is, I mean, what is in this really sandy spots? You know, because it's so blatant, it chops up into these images that have crystal clear. This would have been a crystal clear piece right here. It should be right here as well as right there. And it's not, and it's made to look like sand. I mean, what do you guys think? Comment below. We got to do something. There's got to be a shifting point here. We're getting towards where there's so much of these images out now, it's muddying the waters up. We're putting so much out that they can pick and choose the media outlets, which ones they want to cherry pick, call it pareidolia, and then basically lump us all in as ufologists. And I'm going to be doing a whole video on this that I hope you watch and I hope you share it with people because it's really going to go after the uh, the people that are doing it, not just the people, but the outfits, the websites that are doing it, and then who it gets picked up by. And I got a lot of friends that are going to help me with this thing as well because there's so much out there, but it's really starting to rev itself up, along with some other alternate theories that are just coming out of left field. It's like everybody. It's like somebody's trying to take this big paintbrush and paint us all lunatics. And hey, I look at rocks on a foreign a foreign planet that a lot of people say is somewhere in Arizona, which I don't believe. And this isn't the place to spam under my video comments about your flat Earth, no satellite stuff. I don't care about that. I've done that research, believe me, plenty. I'm just as research oriented as the last of you. I get so wrapped up into this stuff sometimes. I will do research and research for years before I even start to come to conclusions of things. So nothing, I will love to hear new information, but I don't want to deal with your spam, and neither do my subscribers. So please stop with it. It's got to stop here. The waters have been so muddied up that we can't tell what's what. And when the normal people see something like the Dabu 77 put out that thing recently where its Google Earth registration marks are being called hidden bunkers. And it was so easy. It took somebody that did a little bit of research. It took me 2 minutes, 3 minutes to pull up the coordinates to find out what was going on, realizing that there's a different resolution up top and below. And this stuff has got to stop. When we do something like this, it's a little bit more fun. We're letting our imaginations go wild as we look at the geometry in this piece right here. Let me zoom in that so you can see. This is where I talk about the geometry. Stuff that you don't see, not necessarily in Mother Nature. Um, and I don't want 100 emails saying there's geometry in Mother Nature. Of course there's geometry in Mother Nature, but not systematic squares, different 90-degree angles, rounded 90-degree angles, rounded turnarounds. So it's one of those things where we really have to be careful about moving forward from this. And like I said, I hope you guys get entertainment joy out of my videos. That's why I make them. I wouldn't keep making them if I wasn't getting comments from you guys, the people who speak up and say they enjoy them, because it's kind of, we have a leaderless movement here, and anybody can say what they want. And what's happening, like I said, they're just cherry picking articles, slapping it on the face with ufologists. And I don't even really look into UFOs that much. I have, 5 UFO videos on this whole channel, and that's because 5 people that are actually subscribers asked me to take a look at things. So anyway, let me get off my soapbox real quick. Check that out, straight line coming up through it. And let's take a look one more time back at that. There's a lot to look at on this image, and you wouldn't even expect it just from looking. You might get sick, guys. I'm gonna zoom back real fast. Just by looking at this on the NASA archive, who would have thought that this would be so interesting when you get in on it? I haven't looked. There's 2 more places we have to look at before I let you go. This piece right here looks like a piece of something, and once again, it's got the blur marks next to it, so there's no real. Um, I don't know how far that goes. It looks like this is what you have, but it's a very interesting in how it's connected. Uh, so you see the different spheres in it, the different rounded pieces. It looks almost metalish. Some of it looks like metal when you have it with the gamma way down. We've got this square box here, whatever's going on. You can see it's definitely a box. You can see the perfect, the shadow even has the angles. But what's interesting is at the top, you can see whatever that is stands up pretty tall off the top. Whether that's a face on the front, I don't think so. But that's whoever sent it over. I can't remember now. Thought that might be the case, but I think we're looking more of a just a box maybe with some rebar. Definitely something that was somewhere interesting on the planet before. Here back here you've got just interesting pieces of Uncle Jake's junkyard, destroyed Mars. Ladies, all right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to be going back to Pluto, Sirius. There is all sorts of stuff going on. Space news is going to be coming back. Um, I've got a lot planned for this year. Winter's when I can really try and get it done. It gets cold. I don't like going outside in the cold, and so any I might need some help from some of you guys with the research. So if you guys are been watching my videos for a long time and say, hey, I'm a writer, or I might be able to help, well, come sign up at the website. First off, come introduce yourself in the forums. We got a great bunch of guys and girls. Who are asking questions, amazing questions all the time, stuff that I don't even know the answers to, but somebody there seems to always find it. So, all right, guys, much love to you. I don't even know what to call this video. Once again, I just definitely see the debris of Uncle Jake's junkyard everywhere. All right, guys, much love. Take it easy. Hope you enjoyed the fireplace chat with Will. All right, much love. Peace.